Okay, so we just saw Upgrade. Before we drop some thoughts. So it's directed by Lee Wunnell, who is good friends with James Wan, and they've both made movies. But this is his second directorial debut, and considering it's on Insidious 3, I'd say it's probably like his first actual movie, because it's not just part of James's franchise.
Yeah.
And it's like a horror, comedy, action film. Don't know why it's got the horror genre, because it's not really a horror movie, but it's definitely an action comedy, if anything.
Yeah.
And it was made by Jason Blum from Blumhouse, who just funds heaps of films. And I assume the budget for this was only a few million. It's already made 11 million, so I'm sure. Even
successful in the eyes of
yes,
money.
Yes, and considering that Jason Blum is the smartest investor in Hollywood, literally, because every horror movie that ever comes out is his film, and he spends nothing and makes hundreds of millions, I would say that this was a success. But the quality of the movie, not so much. So, Harry, what did you think of Upgrade?
Well, I went into the movie not really knowing what I was going to expect, right? Because the trailer looked promising. You know, gore, action, kind of an interesting story, I guess. You know, pretty basic though. Like, you got a fucking microchip in your head that makes you do all these cool things. Like, that's a pretty basic storyline. Yeah. And it really is just a basic storyline. Literally, it is about a guy who loses his wife by a couple of, four gangsters who have been hired to kill her, hired to get him
Holy
paraplegic.
Jesus Christ! We do not care about spoilers at this point.
We're doing a short one here.
Okay, fair. Continue. This is the end of the movie if you haven't seen it. What we're talking about.
Oh, yeah. I don't give a fuck. So, yeah, people got hired to make him paraplegic so that, coincidentally, he would then be like, oh, I need STEM, which is the microchip that makes him walk. To then, get STEM, and then STEM wants to then kill everyone, essentially. STEM is controlling everything.
Yep.
STEM's controlling his creator, the creator of STEM.
That's it.
Which was Aaron.
Yes.
Which was, I didn't even notice the actor. Like, he's not, I've never seen him before.
So,
as to be fair, every single actor in here I've never seen
even
before. Except the wife.
The lead actor is, he's not unknown, but he's not, like, a big name. In fact, I hadn't heard of him until now.
Yeah.
And he's only been in, like, horror movies and such. But I'd say the most famous person in the entire movie was his wife.
Yeah, well, she's been in a few things.
Yes, and I will find her name. I'm on the hunt. But it was an odd movie. So basically, if you see the trailer for Upgrade, then you've incidentally seen everything that's good in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the trailer, there's a bunch of really violent deaths. And when I went into this movie, what I wanted was a guy who's controlled by a robot who just, like, rips people up, blows them up, action scenes.
There's a bunch of different cool shit. Like,
and
that's
in the trailer, the way that they film the action is really cool.
Yeah.
Because the camera's, like, stuck on him. Yeah. And so it pivots to his movement. And so it looks
the
really...
iconic living room scene. The very first guy he goes to kill in the movie.
So if you've ever seen the trailer, the action scenes look really well made. Yeah. Because of the way that it just is presented. And so I was actually really excited to see this movie because I wanted to see an action film that had, like, an interesting cinematography and way of doing things.
I think the best way this movie could have gone, which is what we were expecting, was just an action film. That looked good in action. I don't think I wasn't really concerned about the story.
No, never.
It wouldn't be anything special.
No. See, because, okay, it's pretty simply, like, even the trailers let you know that it's just a revenge story. Yeah. And all he's trying to do is kill the people who killed his wife. And he's a robot. And I don't know how they made it boring, but it's just really by the numbers. Like, my main problem with the entire movie was, you watch the trailer, you're like, oh, cool action scenes, shot well, lots of gore. And all the gore is in the fucking trailer.
No, literally.
Like, the scenes...
There's nothing.
The scenes of violence that you go to the movie to see...
There's nothing extra.
Are in the trailer. Yeah. Like, for example, there is a scene...
that's why we fucking hate trailers.
Where he flips the guy's hand and he blows his brains up. And it's in the trailer, so assuming you've seen the R-rated trailer, you've seen it. And I wanted to go to the movie just to see him violently fuck people up because that's the kind of movie this was.
Yeah.
And that was the extent of the violence.
Yeah, it was that, and then when he cut the guy's mouth open with the knife.
And that was in the trailer.
And that was in the trailer.
So I went into the movie literally just I want to see more violence. I'm a sad, sick person, like most moviegoers.
Oh, but like, you know.
But I just wanted to see a campy, violent
it's
action
what you
movie.
expect out of this movie.
Exactly, like a
And
Quentin
just
Tarantino.
yeah.
But literally all the gore was in the trailer, and that's probably the most disappointing thing about the entire thing. Because I was like, okay.
It didn't offer anything.
No, it didn't. Because you watch it for like 40, 50 minutes, and it's building up plot, and you're like, okay, here we go, we're going to go full action mode. And there's never full action mode in Upgrade. There's like a minute of action, and then back to talking, and then a minute of action.
Yeah.
And the final like fight was the coolest part of the movie, but it lasted like a minute. Because he fights a robot guy. Like, it's too...
I think that part of the story was really interesting. So it was there was the group that killed his wife. They are like part cyborg machine, part human, right? And they call themselves the Upgraded.
Yeah.
They're a new, species, I guess. And they've got like wires all through them. Like, they've got guns, they've got implants. Like, they've got, like, you know, there's this whole new scene where people are starting to make themselves cyborgs.
Yeah, yeah.
Which didn't realize this movie was set in the future until watching this movie, which it is. It's very much in the future.
Because in the trailer, it's like suburban houses and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I was just sitting there watching the movie, and then like 5 minutes in, there's a shot of the city, and there's flying cars.
Yeah.
I just turned.
No, it was literally when the wife was coming home, and there's that car, and I'm like, oh, okay, like, shit. Like, there's an autonomous car that literally just drives itself.
I was quite taken aback.
Oh, it doesn't, but it makes sense.
It doesn't, it makes sense.
Completely makes sense.
Wasn't expecting it. And when I saw it, I was like, that's hilarious.
That's just a little nitpick. Yeah. But, I mean, like,
not a nitpick, just...
Not a nitpick, but just like a little thing that was just like, I wasn't expecting that, but it actually happened.
That was cool, yeah.
Ending was good. You explain the ending because you like the ending.
Yeah. So you watch the movie, and for like 40 minutes, it sets up... It makes him look like he's got a really hard life, Gray, the main character.
Yeah.
So that when... I want to talk about this quickly from like a writing standpoint, because it's very interesting to look at, because basically all they did is they were like, okay, we're going to make an revenge movie. And so we're going to set up... There's a couple scenes where it sets up the relationship with him and his wife, and then kill off the wife, and then show him sad and crippled from losing his wife and being in a car crash.
Yeah.
So that when he gets the stem, which is the thing that enhances his abilities, or gives him access to... I don't know how you describe stem exactly, but it just makes him better. It upgrades him, as the movie likes to say. Yeah. But basically, they set him up to be real sad, so that when he gets it, you're like, yay, Gray. But the problem is that there's no depth to the character.
Oh,
there's no depth to the wife.
Oh, no.
When, like, for example, when she gets shot and he gets shot...
I don't care.
No, because they haven't set them up.
They haven't.
And so then they show him around the house being really upset because he's obviously paraplegic. But there's he's still yet no character. Like, of course you feel sad for seeing someone who's paraplegic who wasn't.
But you're not connected or emotionally in depth with this character.
Because he's not a character.
Because he's not. And I don't know if it was the actor or the directing, but like his character was shit. I
would say it was primarily the writing.
I would say
because
so
they
as
didn't
well,
give
but I would
him
also
anything.
say that maybe the actor didn't pull through very well.
Perhaps,
either. It didn't seem it didn't seem natural. I don't know, maybe, obviously that's probably what they were going for because he's got, like, an implant in him. But when he got the implant, you can see the very sudden change of human to cyborg, I guess you could say. Like, his motions were all jerky and,
good.
like, you know, as, like, what a robot would do.
Yeah.
It was good, no, it's cool, but, like, it kind of threw me off a bit because then his face was still, like, emotional. And it just didn't really, it didn't fit well for me.
On that, so he makes you want to care when he gets the implant. That's the writer's point at that point. It was written and directed by the same guy. So basically his point was, feel sad for the main character, so when he's upgraded, you're like, yay. But there's no reason for you to go yay because of the lack of characters. And then when he is upgraded, immediately it's just, we need to go kill the bad guys now, which is great. Like, that's what you want to happen at this point. But you don't care who he is. After all that setup, you don't care who the villains are, and there's no, like, detective work at all. It's literally just Stem and Hans as an image, and then they go to the house.
I thought that was very stupid. Like, the 4 main bad guys that he's going to hunt and kill because they're the ones. There's nothing. It just happens one after the other. Like, the first guy goes to the house, kills him, done. What do we do? Whatever, blah, blah, blah. He's dealing with the fact he just killed someone. Second guy, he goes to a pub and then fucking just kills him, and then finds out the name of the main bad guy, Fisk. And then the third guy he just kills in a chase scene, which literally probably lasted about 2 minutes.
Yeah, because
like that was like they were trying to build it up for suspenseful because like Stem was getting shut down by the creator so that he couldn't do his thing, and then Stem like got a hacker to make sure that he could operate autonomously.
Yes,
and then they were the bad guys were coming after them, but like it was nothing like, oh my god, like you knew he would just reactivate and fuck shit up.
Well, we see, the problem is that like
again we're complaining about the story, but we knew what this wouldn't happen.
Yeah, no, we knew from a basic point like what would happen in this movie as it's just a revenge story. But it's just like when you do get to the revenge part and there's no detective work, there's one policeman trying to stop him. But that's not. I would not even say it's part of the story. Like it's just pointless. So there's nothing stopping him. Yeah. There's nothing stopping him from doing his revenge. The bad guys have no way of stopping him because he's Stem. Yeah. And there's no drama and or plot from that point. And you don't care about the character in the first place, so you just begin watching a series of events in which he just kills people one by one. That's the whole movie. Maybe
they try to fit too much story into such a short movie, because like it all happened very fast, and it didn't leave a lot for us to get involved in.
There was very little to get involved in.
So maybe that's what it was then.
I don't know. See, the thing is, there's so much dialogue in this movie, and there's so much exposition, but none of it enhances the characters.
It doesn't go anywhere.
Like it's just like if these characters got into a room and talked, it's what you would think they would say. But there's no interesting character traits. No. There's no clever dialogue. There's barely any commentary on society, because normally movies set in the future are like technology's bad for you and etc. But like this movie, literally, it's just technology's bad for you. And like that's it. Like I understand this revenge movie though, and they don't need any of that. But what you need in a revenge movie is you need to care about the revenge. So you need to care about the person that got killed. You need, like, for example, all they needed to do is John Wick. You care about John Wick because it's a dog that dies. John Wick is a bad ass, and the action scenes are incredible. And bam, you've got an amazing revenge movie.
John Wick is unique because of how good the action is.
No, I agree. But what I'm trying to say is,
the story pretty much falls through for John Wick.
No, it does. But what I'm trying to say is,
this is what this needed?
Yeah. Like this had the same quality of story as John Wick.
Essentially,
But you didn't care about the main character. You didn't care about the action because the action was very, very quick, like a minute every now and then, and it didn't have what I think they needed in order to make it engaging.
Yeah, it just fell through, just short, I think, definitely.
Like, just a little bit more action.
It was also very predictable, the story.
Oh, God.
Like, from the beginning, it was like, so he does the car up for the main, like, tech whiz guy. Aaron.
Yeah.
And, I'm like, well, it's obviously him. He obviously wanted him to become paraplegic so that he could have Stem in him. Like, I was like, that's so obvious. That's literally what it was.
I didn't think that.
Oh, really?
No,
I was like, no, it's definitely him. Like, that makes... Because why would they make him paraplegic and not kill him?
Yeah.
In the car crash,
well,
right?
You see, okay.
Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, it makes sense because now he's like, oh, I can get you to have Stem in your body so I can test it and shit. But it's actually what threw me off was that it was actually Stem controlling the creator so that he could get into a body.
See, okay, well,
I suppose.
In regards to this whole nonsense, imagine a movie where there's barely any plot, and then in the last 20 minutes, it just decides to throw a bunch of twists at you.
Yeah.
And that's Upgrade. Because what happens is, like, there's the initial twist where Stem's like, oh, the hacker actually made me autonomous.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, shit. That was the point where I was like, this movie could go places.
Yeah, because then Stem was doing things that it wanted to do.
Yeah,
it didn't give a fuck about Grey.
So Upgrade has one smart idea, and that's make the robot completely overpower the human. That paves way to so many different, like, scenes, or, like, story, or battles. Like, do you know... theoretically.
But it pretty much happened at the end. It was pretty much the last act.
It happened right at the end, and then it's revealed that it was Aaron. Aaron. Yeah, it was revealed that
Aaron. Yeah.
Aaron was the one who did the whole car crash, which I didn't see coming, which is really stupid, because if you look back at it, it is the most, like, telegraphed twist of all time.
Literally.
Like, they showed
That's what I'm saying. It's
I
so
don't know.
obvious.
I was kind of zoned out, and then when it happened, I almost face-palmed, but I literally, like, kind of, like, almost died on the inside when the next twist happened, and it was, like, Stem's actually controlling Aaron, who's actually did all this, and it wasn't Aaron who did it was me! And then it turns out that the whole point of the revenge plot line was just to kill other technologically enhanced beings so that Stem's the only one. So that he had a motive for all of it. But then the only good thing about the entire movie happens right at the end, and that's... So I hate dream sequences, and any person in the world hates dream sequences.
Yeah. I was like, what are they doing here? Like, are they
right at the end
really
of the
fuck
movie,
this up?
it just cuts to it makes you think that the main character's killed himself, and it goes to a dream sequence. And I was like, okay, as writers and filmmakers, you failed to come up with an ending, and I was like about to go on a massive rant.
Yeah.
And then it's revealed that it's actually a world that Stem sent him to so that he could be happy.
In his own brain, yeah.
Yeah, in his brain, just in his brain, his thoughts were happy so that Stem could take complete control so that he can do whatever he wants on Earth, right? Smart idea, good concept. Something like out of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
Like, it's an interesting concept, and in a movie like this, I honestly did not expect the bad guy to win.
The ending was good.
The ending was good.
Yeah, like,
I liked
all that stuff.
when he sent him away. Because I'm like, that's creative. Like, to send him into his mind,
into
I
his
like
own mind,
it.
to believe that he is actually not,
Yeah.
like, you know, controlled by an evil robot thing.
But the problem is that you watch a really formulaic revenge movie with one or two interesting ideas, but it's not about the interesting ideas. Like, the interesting things happen, but the movie that you're actually watching is really formulaic and just so predictable. The twists are not really twists, and none of this is a problem, because John Wick has the same problems, but the action's incredible. So if you don't have any other elements of film which are good, just make the action good. And it's not the people who made it, it's not their fault, but I think it was budget.
Yeah.
I like 100%
probably.
budget.
Okay, so it is an Australian film.
Yes, it is, yeah.
Australian writer and director.
Yes.
Shot in Melbourne.
Yes, which is awesome.
It's cool. No, it's really cool. Obviously, we live in Australia. And we love seeing that kind of stuff, like, because you don't get that
There's
here.
very little Australian films.
There's nothing.
No, so I'm happy it was made.
It wasn't a terrible film.
Wasn't, no.
Like, it was good for what it was, but yeah, I think probably the fact that it just didn't have probably the biggest budget. Although the gore and everything looked very realistic.
Very good.
When they're doing surgery, I was literally cringing. I'm like, ooh, that's just...
yeah.
Like, they were tearing the muscles apart. Like, it looked good. Like, there was actually shit to it, but I think just, like, the writing maybe could have been more fluent, maybe by making it longer, or...
anything, yeah.
Just going in more depth with a few things. But I don't think it was terrible. I think it was a very just average kind of movie.
Yeah.
But I did walk out thinking that was shit.
Yeah, because the thing is that it's not bad. Like,
it's just not great.
If you're at home and Upgrade's on TV, watch it. If you're like just on your laptop at home and you want to watch Upgrade, watch it.
Yeah.
But don't seek it out.
No.
Like, it's kind of not even worth talking about to a degree. It is entertaining, but just watch it if you see it on, because it's not bad. Like, it's not like a waste of your time. No. It's just, there's nothing special about it.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much... Yeah.
I mean, my last two points.
Okay.
Point number one is 100% all they needed to do was take it way less seriously. Mm-hmm. The movie's super serious. There's very little jokes, and it's really dark, and it's the wrong tone.
Yeah, it's actually very dark.
It's the wrong tone for the material. It should be like him and Stem banter could have been really fucking funny, and they just didn't go there. They made it really serious, and it's like, if you're making a cheap action gore film, just make it stupid. You know what I mean? Like, just make it fun. But they didn't.
I guess
that's my advice.
Because then you can play it off as it was just a joke. But then again, this guy didn't want to make a jokey film.
No, yeah, but I think he honestly cared about the characters he wrote.
Yeah.
But there's not enough substance for anyone else to care apart from Lee. But in saying that, the only other point that I'd like to mention is the main actor, who is, his name is Logan Marshall Green, and he's not terrible. I would like to say that once the stem's actually in him, he like, physically, he becomes like a robot. Like, everything apart from his face moves really, like, jaggedly. Like as if an AI was controlling it. Yeah. And that would have taken significant...
It would have taken a lot to
time.
Act that, right?
Yeah. Like he would have had to practice his movements a lot, like, during action and everything.
Like, when he was sitting at a bench one time, and, like, he was reading and then getting a drink, but, like, the way he just, like, moved his hand to pick up the drink, like, pour it, it was just very, like, robotic. Which is cool, and, like, kudos to acting that, because, like, I feel like it's hard to make something unnatural look natural. Yeah.
He basically, like, and he's just, like, walking, but he made it so that, like, his face is still human.
Yeah.
So, like, it's behind the movement of the body. So I just wanted to commend him, because it's actually a really good physical performance.
Yeah.
Despite anything else that is a good thing in the movie. But that's all I had to say about it.
Yeah, I think that, that pretty much sums it up. I mean, it's not, like you said before, it's not really a movie worth talking about. That's pretty much all we could say, or that's all I can say, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so thanks for listening.
Yeah, and,
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, bro.